Hello, and welcome to Recipes with Ben. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this naan-inspired flatbread using just the stovetop. Naan is a yeasted flatbread that is usually baked in a really hot wood fire oven and served with numerous dishes that include stuff like curry. This cooking method yields a nice chewy center with a crispy exterior similar to that of pizza cooked in a wood oven, and is usually used as a vehicle for eating sauce-based dishes. With all that said, I wanted to find a recipe that I could cook on my stovetop instead of using my oven, as my oven in my kitchen is not hot enough to achieve the desired temperature needed to make naan as a traditional method. So let's get started by making the dough. The first step is to activate the yeast, which can be achieved by heating 1/3 cup of water to somewhere between 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which I normally do this in my electric kettle and monitor with a thermometer. Then, to a large mixing bowl, I'm adding in 1 packet, which is about 2 teaspoons of active baker's yeast. Then the yeast will need some kind of food to grow, so to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of white sugar. Then I add the warm water to the yeast sugar mixture and give that a quick stir until the sugar is dissolved in the water. And the resulting mixture should look something like this. Then let the yeast munch on the sugar for about 10 minutes, and after that time the yeast should have doubled in size and should look more like this, and it's time to move on to the next step. To the yeasted solution, add in 1 teaspoon of salt, followed by 20 grams of garlic powder. And finally, a half a teaspoon of baking powder to help with the rise when it's cooked at the end. Now this recipe makes about 8 naan, so you're going to need 500 grams of all-purpose flour to add to the liquid and begin the kneading process. First, begin mixing the flour with a spoon until the dough starts to come together, and it's best described as like a shaggy consistency, with some of the flour still not fully incorporated. Once it reaches this consistency, it's time to switch to kneading by hand. And then add 1 teaspoon of oil onto a work surface, and also add another about a teaspoon to your hands, so the dough won't stick to your hands when you begin the kneading process. Then as you knead, you may need to add up to 2 more teaspoons of oil or more as needed when you're working with the dough. Then continue to knead the dough for several minutes until it starts to become smooth. Next, add 1 teaspoon of oil to the bowl, and then drop the dough inside and coat the outside of the dough with that oil. Then cover it and place a lid on it and put it in a warm spot to proof for another 90 minutes. After proofing for about 90 minutes, you should see the dough has doubled in size, and it's time to shape it. So again, re-oil the work surface and your hands and place the dough on that work surface. Shape the dough into a ball and press it down to make a disc. Then using a pastry cutter, cut the dough into 8 equal portions. Then take one of the 8 portions of the dough and begin forming it into a ball, pushing it through your thumb and pointer finger, and then pushing the backside of the dough into the middle. And repeat this with the rest of the dough to make 8 dough balls. Once you've made them, cover them with a towel and allow them to proof for an additional 10 to 15 minutes. After their second proofing, you want to roll out the dough into thin discs. And just like my tortilla video, which I'll link down below, I found the best method to make this is place the dough between 2 pieces of parchment paper, press down with the tortilla press, rotate 90 degrees, and press again. Then take it out of the tortilla press, and while it's still in the parchment paper, roll it out with a small rolling pin. Once it's as thin as possible, it's time to cook it in a non-stick pan. Before you cook it though, it's important to preheat the pan to as hot as possible. For me on my stovetop, that's 7 out of the 10 possible heat. And once it's hot, then add the dough to the pan directly and cook it for about 45 seconds. During the time, what you'll see is that the air bubbles will start to form in the dough, and once it gets up there, the bottom should be a light golden brown. And then you want to quickly flip it over with a spatula, splash some water on it, and cover it with a lid and cook it for an additional 30 seconds. The resulting should be the top and bottom should both have a nice brown color, with the air bubbles having that extra color that's similar to the bottom. Then cook up the rest of the naan and cover it with a towel until it's time to ready to eat. And there you have a stovetop naan inspired flatbread recipe. Thank you so much for watching, and smash that like button for stovetop breads. And don't forget to subscribe, so you don't miss out on the next one. I'll see you again soon.